Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Cuban-born New York City resident pianist Dayramir Gonzalez. He was born and raised in Cuba and came into his own as a New York City-based artist and composer with his 2018 debut, the GRAND CONCOURSE. This new cat on the scene has been hailed for his monster technique and profile of creative ranges which go from rock, pop, jazz, and Afro-Cuban stylings. His father was an Afro-Cuban jazz trumpeter, Fabian Gonzalez, and a driving force and inspiration when he discovered the piano at the age of 8. He would eventually be accepted into Cuba's famed National High School for the Arts, and from there, the world of music was his to pursue. He talked about this and so much more, so please get to know him and dig this interview, my friends.
My man, now I'm yours. I'm yours, all yours.
I love it. Hey, life is all about timing, isn't it?
I know, man. I'm sorry. It's like, these days have been crazy and so much going on. I'm going to Cuba on Saturday for the Havana Jazz Festival and stuff. So I have my mother-in-law coming tomorrow, whatever. And, I have the big concert, my debut concert with Yamaha tomorrow at 7 in New York. Putting together a lot of new music and stuff, and it's like a lot going on, but it's exciting, very exciting, brother.
That's good, man. Yeah, the world needs more of your music, so it's all good, man. But hey, thanks for taking a minute for Neon Jazz. I really appreciate it.
Amazing. Thank you for inviting me, for thinking of me.
You bet, man. So you are a great voice on the jazz scene today. You have a brand new album, the GRAND CONCOURSE. Talk to me about this album.
Yeah, this album was a dream come true because, I have been composing non-stop since I go to Berklee College of Music in 2010. And, Berklee was a very prolific time. I had a piano performance and jazz composition. So composing. And many of these songs, probably a good 40% of the songs of the album, I composed it at Berklee. And then I moved to New York and, also, my whole life really changed. The New York scene is very prolific also, and also very engaging with a lot of talented people around it. So all of that, put a lot of spices into my music, into my thoughts. So I continued to write down some music, and then at some point by 2014, 15, I was reaching out to some record labels and stuff. Some of them didn't, they weren't paying attention that much. Someone, they put it together like a very bad deal for me. Like, okay, I will record the album, but you need to give me your soul. Like one of the type of deal that I kind of rip off deal, business wise. So I said, okay, this is not going to work. I'm going to record my album myself. I am going to produce the album because I do hear every single song and how every instrument will sound, and I can capture the exactly amazing sound that I want for every single instrument. So I put together around like $25,000, $30,000, and I went to the studio, put together string quartet, piano, bass, and drum percussion, Pedrito Martinez, a lot of colors into the album, and I basically really wanted to showcase not only Dayramir the piano player, but also to present Dayramir as the whole complete artist that I am in terms of, composing, arranging, orchestrator, band leader. So it was a very colorful way for me to present my debut album in the U.S.
Wonderful. Now, talk to me about growing up in Cuba. How did you get into jazz? And talk to me about early musicians that inspired you.
See, I'm coming from a musical family. And so at home I always had a piano, and always was sitting around and playing the piano with my mom, with my dad. And the first biggest inspiration that I had, it was my dad himself. He exposed me to a lot of music. Many of his famous musicians, of Cuba used to rehearse it in my living room. So growing up with that was very inspiring. So also, like in Cuba, we have a system that support art. And look, basically what happened is like in Cuba, by 7 years old, I enrolled in the elementary school of music and start getting classical training, like conservatory training, music theory, piano composition, and just be surrounding all my friends that they were super talented in my generation, Alfredo Rodriguez, Harold Lopez Nusa, and so on. it was a very, very amazing time to grow and stuff. So and then growing up, my dad exposed me when I was like 12 years old to an album that I always loved. It was an album from Irakere, Chucho Valdez and Irakere. Misa Negra changed my life, hearing Arturo Sandoval on trumpet, Paquito Rivera. It was like a very, very amazing album. And hearing Chucho with all of these big chords and the way he was really accompanying the comping for the horns and orchestrating was very, very amazing and, to me. And I really got into jazz when I was still in elementary school of music because I had my own band, that it was called Salsa Blue. So I used to have my first composition with 13, 14 years old, already being leader of 13-piece band already in elementary school of music.
When you came to New York City, was it a big shock for you, like a culture shock, or was it kind of a natural thing for you?
No. New York City was definitely something very shocking to me in many ways. The first thing is I go to the U.S. coming to Berkeley, and I was on a bubble at Berkeley because at Berkeley basically I didn't really need to do anything at Berkeley. I was really studying easy, pam. But and then when I got to New York, I already had a lot of accolades in my thing. I was already while at Berkeley. I performed at Carnegie Hall. Being presidential scholarship at Berkeley, graduated from Berkeley as the Wayne Shorter Award for the most outstanding composer of the year 2013. And I said, when I get to New York, I'm going to be the best pianist ever, and it will be so easy to make the transition. It was very, very, very disappointing because in some point when I got to New York, no one was waiting for me. It was a time where, I saw myself performing in restaurants and, literally playing, and people were talking, not appreciating the music. Very, very, very bad experience. So, it took me a while to really understand that New York is a place that a lot of people also have the same dream that I have, which is to become to be an established artist. So it will take some time to make my name be out there.
So talk to me about your monster technique. It's very unique. It's full of a lot of action. Talk to me about that.
My technique mostly, Cubans, we come from the Russian piano technique. So I'm a classical trained piano player. So I play a lot of Chopin, a lot of Mozart, Bach, and I continue to do so also. Basically, what I do is that I have different influences. Chucho Valdez and Gonzalo Rubalcaba, the way of them playing is very active, very percussive, very like look at me, I'm very I'm here, with a lot of personality, rhythmic wise. And then the other hand, I love Chick Corea was another pianist that I used to follow a lot. So with that in my mind, McCoy Tyner. So it's kind of like the thing that I like. But I'm a very passionate guy. I love performing with giving everything that I have for one particular song. And then it's about energy, giving the audience the ultimate energy ever. And listening to them. When I'm in the stage, I'm always constantly looking at the audience, feeling what they need. If I put together the order of 7 songs, and then after the third song, I feel like we already played too many notes. I jump, away from what I had in mind, and just play a solo piano ballad, just to refresh the ears of the people. If I feel that I need to, make the people more engaged, and I make people clapping, I make a vamp right there. It's just about to have the audience completely having an amazing experience, likewise.
So in your life, what advice have you gotten from teachers or mentors that has really stuck with you?
Well, the first one that I got from my dad is that in order to be to have a unique voice, you have to be able to you need to be independent. You have to be self-sufficient musical wise. So my dad always prompted me to be a composer, to be a creator. So my dad always told me, if you are a creator, you don't depend on anybody. You can write music for yourself, and you can write down for anyone that you want. So if you are a composer, you are a creator, you are self-sufficient. You can provide food for yourself. And that always taught to me that was very, 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 very important and have always worked, because actually, you know, I have used my composition for many things, you know, to be in love, to get a girl, to, you know, when I was growing up in high school, if I had a fight with another guy, I used to be very, very skinny and little, you know, like, you know, and not so tall and skinny. So if I had any problem with anyone, I couldn't really fight physically. So basically what I used to do is like, if we went in music school, and I said, okay, what do you play? You play saxophone. Okay, we don't like each other, but next week or in 2 weeks from now, when I have my next concert, I'm going to invite you. But I used to sit down and write the most difficult song for that guy. So just to make him feel, you know, it's like, you see, this is my way to punch you in the face with my music.
Right on. That's awesome. So what live jazz shows have you seen that really influenced you?
I mean, oh sure, man. Like, well, I mean, in Cuba, seeing Chucho Valdez live was always, you know, it's always like amazing. I seen Gonzalo Bacao for first time live at Blue Note just two years ago was truly amazing. Seeing at Berklee College of Music live Joel Obano with Dave Liebman and Danilo Perez, Wayne Shorter, John Patitucci freaking live was like a whoa! Seeing John Scofield with Brad Meldau and Mark Juliana on drums, it was also like super like a whoa! You know, I mean, you know, the one that I haven't been able to get, and this is one of the pianos that have influenced me most, you know, harmonic-wise and contrapuntal-wise, is Keith Jarrett. And I haven't been able to see it, you know, to see Keith Jarrett yet live, man. So this is one thing that I really would like to experience sometime.
Right on. So why do you love jazz?
Just for me, you know, it's as simple as a way of enhancing my music. You know, it's a language that I found that has made my music so rich that I don't even call myself a jazz player, man. I mean, I call myself, I'm an artist. I'm a composer. I'm a pianist, and with Latino influences, with African, mainly West African influences, and jazz harmonies, and classical music, classical background. So basically, for example, when I write for orchestra, I definitely showcase that I'm a classical piano player with classical chops, someone who knows how to write for a string quartet, for the flute, for the bassoon and everything. But also, I have a tool that some of the classical orchestrators don't have, which is the jazz tool. For me, you know, when you enhance the harmony inside the jazz harmony, it, you know, gives you a texture, it gives you a color that is so unique. So for me, definitely jazz has been a way of expressing myself in a very more independent way, a way for me just to be also, you know, to provide more color into my music. It's a very nice language and tool to enhance my music, basically.
Beautiful. So what does the future look like for you? What would you like to see happen?
In 1 year from now, in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I have a plan for all of that. In 1 year from now, I'm already working toward having my sophomore album in the U.S., which is going to be with music with symphony orchestra, Mozart meets Havana. I'm already, I already have the title. I have the vision of the whole album. It's like how Mozart would sound if he was Cuban with African influence and New Yorker harmonies, vanguard New Yorker harmonies. So Mozart meets Havana, this is my, a symphonic orchestra thing that I'm doing. Also, I'm preparing to score the movie, a movie for Jean-Michel Basquiat, a famous American Haitian painter from the 80s. So I'm going to be scoring that music here. Continue to grow my music school in New York and continue to find a way to expand it more. Definitely, trying to get my brand international, to continue growing my brand as a pianist composer, a little more worldwide, to establish my brand more.
So you need to put an ad out and tell people what your vibe is, what your music is like. How would you describe that to get people to come see you live at a Kansas City venue?
Easy, very easy. I'm Afro-Cuban, jazz pianist and composer based in New York. My music is a journey of pure energy, and it's a Afro-Cuban jazz party where I'm going to make you have an unbelievable and colorful experience of clapping, deep listening, smiling, singing, all in between. An experience full of energy, and you will be able to experience the most complete time for you to be right top of the clapping and dancing and having so much fun in my concert. That's definitely my theme.
Beautiful, man. That's a great way to wrap everything up. Hey, man, thank you for taking some time out. Thank you for the music and for what you're doing for jazz and for the whole landscape of music, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, amazing. Looking forward to hearing the whole interview air soon. And happy New Year. Happy New Year, and so much success and love.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Cuba, New York City, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Mr. Gonzalez for his time, his class, and his music. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com. And for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the music, my friends.
Neon Jazz.